So what he's doing is that he's recording everybody so that he can protect himself because he's a music mogul. He's a big entertainer, and he's using them either to blackmail them or to, in some way, protect himself in case they come at him with lawsuits or say that he raped them or he abused them. And that's what some of those tapes might be. Now, we still have not seen all those tapes.
Where do we start off? His arrest. It came out of nowhere?
No, it wasn't. I wouldn't say his arrest came out of nowhere. To the public, it was out of nowhere, but right. They already had it planned. His lawyers already were in communication with the Homeland Security guys to arrange his surrender.
Right, and I saw there was a videotape that came out. It was like his hotel lobby that he was staying in?
Yeah, he was in a hotel in the city, and they grabbed him there, and they arrested him.
Now, reading from the indictment, what do you think? What can you tell us? Can you break it down for us?
Well, he got hit with a slew of charges. He got hit with, first, racketeering. Now, what that means is that he engaged in a criminal organization where he and several others, possible unknown co-conspirators, engaged in acts where they had an organized...
organization?
No, organization. I'm just trying to get the words
right.
Right, and that's what I'm looking for. An enterprise where they did certain things, where they brought girls in from sex to perform sex acts. He used intimidation. He used coercion. He used a lot of things that they were saying that he did. That was in the racketeering. When you have racketeering, that's like the catch-all for everything. And then you go down to the second charge, which is the Sex Crimes Act. So he got charged with sex trafficking, and that means that he sex trafficked women into having sex at his freak-off parties, or he got them in some way overseas, or and used them to be sex workers, and they charged him with that. So they had a slew of charges. Then the third charge, they used forfeiture proceedings against him, where they can go against his businesses or whatever for money, monetary. If he used any of his illegal activities and he used them to gain money and things like that, the government can come after him with that, such as any kinds of, if he uses illegal ill-got gains to buy a jet, to buy a building, they can seize that property. So he got hit with a slew of charges, and they really outline everything that he was involved with.
Right, because they do name his companies, from his record label to his, I think, Revolt, his media company, and he was using these things to further the, organization. He was
right. He used that in the furtherance of his organization. It's a criminal enterprise, and they spell it out of how they derived that they came to the conclusion that he ran a criminal enterprise by providing workers that having these sex acts, controlling them, manipulating them, coercion. He used so many different things, and then he used them for these sex acts and part of the organization. So that's how you spell it out.
They do mention coercion. They do mention arson. Arson, I'm guessing they're referring to the Kid Cudi thing.
They are probably referring to the Kid Cudi thing with the arson. They haven't named that.
Yeah.
But I'll come out with that. But I'm got to be sure that that's probably what they're saying.
Yeah, because that was in Cassie's lawsuit.
Right.
What goes through your mind? It says male sex workers, and he would record these what are they, freak offs?
Well, if he's recording these sex workers, there's a couple of things that go wrong with that. It's like, well, what is he doing? Is he recording it so he can have something against them? If they try to say that or go and report that he's involved in these sexual acts so they can extort him. So what he's doing is that he's recording everybody so that he can protect himself because he's a music mogul. He's a big entertainer, and he's using them either to blackmail them or to, in some way, protect himself in case they come at him with lawsuits or say that he raped them or he abused them. And that's what some of those tapes might be. Now, we still have not seen all those tapes. We don't know what's really on them just yet. But if you look at the internet, I don't know where they get all these pictures from, but they're putting pictures out.
Well, technically, for me, reading because he's charged as of now 3 counts. They're still investigating. It was an ongoing investigation. I want to get into that, but there's no mention of tapes. Like what I'm saying, during the raids, they don't mention tapes
No.
that were found, not as of yet, but they do mention that there were recordings that he would do, that he would,
Right.
do such a thing as record his freak offs. Now, again, the argument can be made, well, he does this for his own sexual pleasure, his own desire.
And that could be where he wants to videotape himself having sex with somebody. Right. I mean, listen, people do that all the time.
Yeah.
But the other reason, there are several other reasons for it as well. One is to maybe blackmail that person into not coming forward and alleging your personal lifestyle, right? Yeah. Then another thing is maybe he wants to hold that against somebody and blackmail them later on. Maybe somebody, and these are all just assumptions. It's nothing that's been proven, but we don't really know what his intentions were at that time. Well, we're probably going to learn that later, but we don't know now.
Right. Now, he was kind of arrested unexpectedly because, from my understanding, he was in New York, and he wasn't just in New York on purpose. He was in New York close to, because this is where the Southern District is, in case, because he knew that his lawyer advised him that, they're going to come in and they're going to arrest you. So you're better off just staying here. Make sure, I guess, I think the lawyer was trying to show that, Puff was not going to go anywhere. He wasn't going to fly off nowhere. He wasn't a flight risk. So that way, he could kind of prove, and later on, if he was to get arrested, he could get some kind of bail.
Well, that works for you. Like, I mean, I can't tell you how many times I had a perp commit a crime, and I said, look, if you come in and I don't have to go chase you, it may look good for you if you surrender. Because it will account when the DA asks, well, how did you apprehend him? Well, he surrendered. Now, with Diddy, he was here for a while, but he was up in Harlem taking pictures. He was around the whole week. So it wasn't like he was hiding.
So people say he was trying to get a last look at the block.
Right, he probably was making his last rounds, talking to people, going out, getting a good dinner, hanging out. Because who wants to stay in a hotel all day? So he probably went out and did that, but he knew he was going to be arrested. So that was evident.
People thought when he was arrested, he was trying to get away, basically get on a flight and just dip out of here. Which that is not the case. The case was that I heard that he could have been trying to, well, the feds put it, intimidate a witness, but I guess he was trying, in other words, bribe off or fix things by paying them.
Well, I don't see him leaving. If he came here, I don't see him like getting on a jet to leave.
Right.
I think that these lawyers convinced him that the bail package that they put up, the $50 million, not having contact with women, no contact with witnesses, being under house arrest, sort of, having security monitor him. These were some of the things they put in the bail package. But I don't think he was going to go anywhere. I think he was going to think that bail package would work. And they thought it would work too, because his attorneys went back a second time. So they thought that bail package was going to go over. But from what I learned from the Southern District was that wasn't going to be the case, because they were going to remand him anyway. They didn't want him, if they got him, they didn't want to let him out, because there was talk, and there was even up until he was here, that there were allegations that said that he tampered with some of the witnesses by maybe calling them or trying to reach out to them. So they were very fearful of that.
Right. Which is not surprising. He's done that, I think, before, back in '99 in the Club New York shooting.
Right.
There's like phone calls where he's like, well, we want to make sure you feel comfortable and your family's comfortable. He's not out saying, hey, I'm going to pay you. Just, don't talk or say something or change your story. There's ways of saying things. Hey, let me make you feel comfortable. Make sure you feel comfortable, or let's try to get this, Well, I mean,
it would have been smart of him, if it's true, that he should not have talked to anyone.
Right.
His lawyers have people that do that. They have investigators, people that they hire to go out and talk to witnesses and things like that. They're professionals and they know what they're doing.